Hey guys, it's Dave, and today I'm going to talk about why this is called the everyday relationship. What is the everyday relationship? So basically what it is it's about the little interactions that happen minute by minute as we are with our partner and as we're connected to them. And you get into conflicts with your partner because you're separate people. You have different needs, but they're related. And as you are close to them, as you get closer to them, the more intense your feelings become and the more intense the needs become. And that leads to conflict. And the everyday relationship is dealing with the little everyday conflicts in a constructive way that makes you get closer and doesn't tear you apart and doesn't make you confused and gets you to understand each other better. So what happens is when there's a conflict, whenever you have a feeling of anxiety about your partner, there's a few options you have, right? One is to say, no, it's not important. I'm not going to mention it. It's not important enough. It's not a big enough issue, right? That's one thing. The other thing you can do is start blaming them and acting like they are causing you pain. And why are they doing this? And then, and that's a fight. And the other one is being vulnerable and using vulnerable communication to heal your anxiety, to make you feel safe again, and connect with your partner. So first I want to talk about the first option you have of saying, oh, this is not important, I'm just going to let this go. What happens when you do that is you really are letting it build. You're saying, I'm going to put this away for later, for another time that I'm anxious, and this is going to get stirred up again. And then I'm going to have extra force in my anger and my anxiety. So that's why that's not a good idea, by itself. You can sometimes, maybe you really, will feel like, oh, this issue, I don't want to raise this now, right? And that's okay. If it's not the right time, you can say, I'm going to put this away for later. But don't say, I'm going to let this go because it's not a big deal. Because that will turn you against yourself. And then you will feel like your partner is making you not express yourself fully. But really it's you doing it, thinking that it's not a big deal, or that your partner will not care, or something like that. And that will come back later twice as hard. Okay, so that's not a good idea, right? Reacting blindly, the second option, and blaming your partner and just getting into a fight is also not constructive, because what it does is it makes your partner defensive, it pushes you apart, it detaches you, it makes you not on the same side, and then you end up fighting about something that doesn't get to the heart of the situation. It doesn't really address your feelings. It just kind of will turn into a battle, and you don't really know what it's about. And those are harder to resolve anyway, because you do new things to hurt each other, and then it's like it's about that. Oh, I want you to apologize for what you did in the fight, when really that whole thing came back to one feeling of anxiety that, if you had expressed it vulnerably, you wouldn't even have gotten to that point of hurting each other, fresh, giving each other more wounds. So the third option, being vulnerable. That is being conscious about your feelings of anxiety. You have to identify when you are anxious about your partner. And you have to remember that it's not really them, it's you. And they're triggering it, but it was already there. They just brushed up against it. So, and then what you have to do is communicate vulnerably, which is say, I'm feeling anxious. And then you have to, go into the origins of that anxiety, where you think that pattern came from. If your partner did something that triggered you, and you can at least identify what they did or what they're doing, that might give you a clue as to where the origin comes from in you. You know, if you know that they did a specific thing, like, say you just got home from work and you want your partner to greet you at the door and say hi and make you feel safe in your home, right? Or your apartment, your shared space. And they don't do that, right? Then what's happening in you is that it's triggering this structure of no one cares about me, and something deep like that. And if you can identify this, that's because they didn't come to greet me and come to make me feel good, then you can go into the origins of that and think, who else didn't come to greet me? Who else didn't make me feel good in my childhood? Where is that coming from? And how can I relate that story to my partner? So, but a lot of the times when we feel anxious that our partner won't give us something, it's really easy for them to give us that, but we have to ask them. And we have to tell them why we need it, and we have to do it in a vulnerable way. So the everyday relationship is about being vulnerable, is about having each of those little moments, taking those as opportunities to know yourself better, to interact with your partner in a constructive way, and to get them to understand you more, and to understand them more. And each of those little moments can lead to getting closer, or it can lead to detaching and growing farther apart. And you make the choice. So I hope that helps. Talk to you next time.